happy Huddle Monday. It's good to be back at the House of Justice on a Monday evening. Clap for yourselves. All right. Tonight is Huddle Night, where we helping unite dreamers to develop, lead, and empower. As always, we're going to open up with our opening prayer from our National Youth and College leader, Minister Christian Matthew. Let's clap him up as he comes with prayer.
Thank you, Ashley, for that. We are going to look to the Lord in prayer. Father, we thank you for this time and this opportunity that you have brought us here. God, we come before you first humbly. God, thank you for waking us up this morning. Thank you for putting us in our right mind. Thank you, Lord, for the activity of every limb. Now, God, we pray that you will cover this program on tonight. Thank you for those that are here. Thank you for those that are on their way. Let them get here safely. God, we thank you for our leader, the Reverend Dr. Al Sharpton. Lord, continue to cover him from the crown of his head to the soles of his feet, that the angels of the Lord will protect him at all times. God, we pray for every staff member, every leader of the National Action Network. Lord, we pray for those that are in LA, that, Lord, you will cover them, that, Lord, you will put an angel of protection around them that are in LA, and we put the angels of the Lord to cease all of the destruction and things that are going on there, and we pray that, God, you will heal that community and heal those that are there. Now, God, we pray for the furtherance of this service, and we thank you for good collaboration. In Jesus' name, amen.
Service. Thank you, Minister Christian. All right, and let's clap up. I'm jumping to good news real fast. Our Tony Award winning producer just walked into the building, my big sister, Dominique Sharpton. Let's clap her up. Marcus How's my mind. We're going to talk about that a little later, but I'm glad everybody's already in the know. In the know. All right, Damo, look at the camera. Winston got it pointed right at you. All right. So yeah, let's skip to good news. We're going to go to the scripture first, sorry, and then we'll go to good news. Can we please stand for the reading of the scripture, please? And if you would like to find it, if you have a Bible in your phone or you carry a Bible still, we're coming from the book of Proverbs, chapter 3, verses 1 through 8, King James Version. If you find it, please say amen. Okay, my son, forget not my law, but let thine heart keep my commandments. For length of days and long life and peace shall they add to thee. Let not mercy and truth forsake thee. Bind them about thy neck. Write them upon the table of thine heart. So shalt thou find favor and good understanding in the sight of God and man. Trust in the Lord with all thine heart, and lean not unto thine own understanding. In all thy ways acknowledge him, and he shall direct thy paths. Be not wise in thine own eyes. Fear the Lord and depart from evil. It shall be healthy in thy navel and marrow to thy bones. May the Lord add a blessing to the reading, hearing, and understanding of his holy word. You may have a seat. And that scripture was inspired from my visit to Kennedy Baptist Church, my home church, this past Sunday. But that's also some good news I want to share a little later. All right, so Damo, I'm going to call you up and put you on the spot. We're going to start with our good news segment. I'm going to let her tell you what she won. But for those who were watching the Tonys last night, the Tony Awards, 2025 Tony Awards, anybody heard of the musical Sunset Boulevard? Yeah, Sunset Boulevard was nominated for 7 Tony Awards. And Dominique, our very own National Director of Membership and Special Events and co-chair of Huddle, is a co-producer with Core 4 Productions. Okay, go.
Thank you. Okay. Hey. So, last night was the Tony Awards. This was my second time being nominated as a producer. Last year, thank you. Last year I was nominated for Hell's Kitchen. That was nominated for Best Musical. We did not win that award, although the show won several other awards, which was great, and it's still running and doing great. But this year there was a special revival of Sunset Boulevard that originally came to Broadway in the 90s, starring Glenn Close, who also won the Tony Award for that her performance in that musical. And so this revival came back to Broadway. I was one of the co-producers along with 3 other of my producing partners and friends. And together we make up Core 4 Productions, and we were producers on this musical, this revival called Sunset Boulevard, starring Nicole Scherzinger from the Pussycat Dolls. It is a phenomenal show. She also won a Tony Award last night for her role as Best Leading Actress in a Musical revival. And so, she won Best Actress for her lead actress in a musical Tony Award last night, which was a huge award, obviously, for the evening. So along with that, we also won the Tony Award for Best Revival of a Musical, which goes to the producers. So I won my first Tony Award, and it was great. It was a great night, and so this is what I like to do, and hopefully this will be the beginning for many other things that come in the future. But it was, it was a great experience, and I was grateful to be there, and thanks to my mom I put on my mom's dress, and everything just kind of aligned accordingly, right? So everything was kind of working out. And so, great. My sister came, she had Marcus Al, so everything was just kind of like flowing just correctly until we actually won. My dad met me at the theater. He took pictures and was really excited for us. So it was a great night overall. Like I said, everything just seemed to align. And then it was like when they announced that we won, he was like, oh my God, we won. So we ran on the stage. I was actually on the Tony Award stage, and I got to see, so many of our greats, from Audra McDonald to, of course, Cynthia Erivo, who hosted the awards, there was so many legends in the building. Felicia Rashad, obviously they won. Purpose also won for Best Feature Play. So it was a lot of Black excellence in the room, obviously. LaTanya Richardson Jackson, Samuel L. Jackson. It was so many people. It was crazy. But I enjoyed my night, and thank you so much for hearing me out, and thank you for your love and support. And thank you. That's so sweet. Thank you, Lisa.
And you know what? I want to add something to Dominique's report.
Thank you.
Is that Broadway has generated in this last year over $2 billion on their plays.
And to continue that, it's the highest grossing season ever on Broadway. Ever. Also want to shout out Hamilton, also, who performed last night. The first time they were together in a while. So it was really cool to really see like how history is continuing and how they claim that, Broadway is back. So great season. Broadway is back. We have to support the arts. And I know so many young people like myself as a theater kid love the arts, love the theater. And so we have to continue to provide these outlets for our young people to expose them to greatness. So thank you.
Look at that.
Beautiful. Sorry about that dead air. He was taking pictures. Let's clap her up one more time. This is absolutely amazing and historic. And salute as well to Purpose as she shouted them out. They also had a big wins yesterday evening, Purpose to Play, Broadway. So we're definitely gonna be having some trips. We're gonna bring our young people to Broadway to see these shows, from Hell's Kitchen to Sunset to Purpose and on. All right? But there are gonna be some incentives throughout the summer. Me and Christian talked about that on Saturday. So make sure the young people come with you. The incentives for those to come have to come to 2 huddles and 1 Saturday rally in order to participate with our trips and good times, all right? So we want y'all to be involved. We want the young people to be involved, so they have to come, all right? So y'all know y'all will have tickets, but we need some more, all right? Any more good news, Tony V? Let's clap him up. Good news. That's Christian reminded us.
Yeah, first off is I just realized, hey, they named those awards after me.
I cannot.
Oh God!
The Tony Awards, Tony Beer.
I'm bugging. That's okay. But the real, I'm gonna start giving out Tony Awards. Daggone it. Okay, so but the real deal is that I've got a lot of family besides my 2 daughters. I've got some nieces and nephews, and one of my grandnephews. He's just graduating out of high school. He's 17. But he's also been a football player for a couple of years, and he's really good. So on Saturday, he was in the All-Star game between New York and New Jersey. And between being a wide receiver and a midline middle defender, he actually got invited to talk to sponsors for a couple of colleges after the game, even though the coach for the New York team didn't let him play all that much. But they saw how good he was. They said, I don't know, you ain't getting away with it, yo. So I'm so happy. My man Jordan, he's 17. Oh my God, he's done that. And that was one of the things I wish I could have did basketball, football. But he's an all-star, 17 years old. We about the same height. Love him. I'm complete.
All right. Congratulations to him. Come on, sis.
I was telling a friend of mine about, sorry, I was telling a friend of mine months ago about Dominic being one of the producers on Hell's Kitchen. And her cousin gave her free tickets, and she took me along with her. And that's a great show on Broadway.
Oh, yeah.
And she kept on telling me, she said, you did ask me, or you said something about it. She said, I got tickets for you and me to go. And I thank God, for her cousin giving it to her, and we got the tickets and we went. I enjoyed myself. I enjoyed that. That's a real life story. And I thank God for Alicia Key, also Dominic Sharpton, and thank God.
Thank
I
you.
went.
Thank you.
Thank
All
God.
right. All right. That's all the good news. Come on, Anthony. As Anthony comes, I just want to, like I said earlier, I want to shout out Canaan Baptist Church, the youth mass choir department. They had a reunion, kind of, but it was like a sad goodbye. This past Sunday, some of you know Miss Anna Caldwell. She played at Canaan for over 30 years, and she's been a member for 43 years. But that's where we all learned how to sing. Me, my sister, Travis Boyd. Some of y'all know Pastor Travis Boyd in the Bronx. Yes, Mommy? Yes, I was going to get there. So yes, so I was saying she influenced so many here. Patrice Perry, she also sang with Ms. Caldwell. Our chair of the board, who was Dr. Walker, he installed her. And she also played, not here at this one, but the Madison location. She played for the Change Choir, before it was the Change Choir, for the Nan Choir several times. So we just want to salute Mrs. Caldwell, thank you, and to Canaan Baptist Church for their input and influence. Come on, Anthony. Welcome back to Huddle.
Thank you. Congratulations, Dominic, on Tony. I've been down with Rel at the watermelon truck, and he's watermelons is a legacy of Black people, and I was telling him about
That's
the
on
youth
130?
139.
139, okay.
And he's on his own watermelon trucks. He's spreading them out, and he wants to collaborate. And also, he wants to get with Senator Claire to work with that park across the street to make lights and workout areas and try to clean up the area.
Let's do it.
So, I'm inspired to hear that. I think it's good news. And if everyone could collaborate together and make something happen, it would be beautiful.
That's fire. Fire. All right. That's good news to see Guns Down Life Up back in the building with Miss Minnie. How are you? All right, and the last one was the Apollo Theater. This week, who's been to the Apollo before? All right, so my mommy works at the Apollo, Mother Kathy Joan Sharpton, and her show, Amateur Night, was this week. Felicia McLaughlin performed on Friday. Minister Christian Dominic were there. Salute to those who supported. Others were there in the building to support Sister Felicia. But this past Wednesday was the Apollo Gala. Anybody heard of Tiana Taylor? Yeah, so Tiana Taylor, if you were here long ago, one of the reasons why I got in a position of the youth in college was because we used to do the fashion show. The fashion show was my first thing here with Sharp Entertainment, and Tiana Taylor was a part of that. The first year we did that, the first 3 years, she was a part of basically our performances on Summer Stage on 125th Street. That's how we met Mo Bars. So some of you know Mo Bars. That's how we got here with her. We met Mo through Tiana. But it was special to see her Literally 10 years later, she was awarded the Cultural Icon Award from the Apollo Theater, and it was special to see that. We can clap that up. That was great. She literally was just a young lady, just like y'all, coming in here, who was super talented. Me and Dominique used to argue about her. I used to say she was fire. Dominique said she was whack. And ever since I met her, she was a regular girl from Harlem. She was always loud. She always had the big hair. She would get the pack hair from the beauty supply store and pack it herself. But she always had confidence. She always felt she could dance. She always felt she could sing. If she was sitting right here, she'd be like, give me the mic. I want to go. I want to go. That's how she was when I met her. And we used to be like, Tiana, sit down. Have a seat. Sit down. But she knew she was a star. Her mother believed in her, and people in the community believed in her, and she literally shot to the top. So I just wanted to bring that home for y'all. Believe in yourself, because Tiana, you couldn't tell Tiana she was not a star when she was 10. So I just want you to know that's all you need is that, and some talent and some faith in God. And I was proud of her because in her acceptance speech, she prayed. And if you knew Tiana 10 years ago, that wasn't her style. So to see how God has also used her and transformed her is a beautiful thing. Come on, Chris.
And you know, speaking of that, the Apollo, we went, me and Dominique, thank you. You know, can you give Miss Kathy a hand? She gave me one hour. Like, I enjoyed the Apollo. Thank you so much. Okay, but me and Dama went, and you know, speaking about young people that have talent, you know, there were some older people that were on the Apollo, but the person that actually won first place was a dancer. I don't know how old she is, but she didn't look very old. And she danced, and she did very, very well, and won 94. She had, like, I think 94 on the, what's that reader called? Whatever the reader is. But I wanted to say that just, you know, to talk about talent and about being young with talent, that if you believe in yourself and you put yourself and apply yourself, that, you know, you would win. And she got number one, first place, and we look forward to see where she goes in the next 2 weeks before they close for the season. Yeah, that's it.
Clap up. I thought Mommy was coming to add. All right. Any more good news and announcements? All right. Does anybody know when early voting begins? All right. Thank you, Lisa. June 14th. This Saturday. Get it, Chris. Come on, Sister Word.
Hi, good day, everybody, and God bless everybody. I'm so glad we're all here together on this beautiful day. I came in late, so I came with the good news. And it's good news we need to acknowledge. There's a lot of protests happening around the United States and throughout the world. And the good news is that the protests are peaceful. And we have to really be happy about that. Spread the good news that all protests should be peaceful, and still encourage people to protest because that's a constitutional right. God bless you. Good day.
That's right. Amen. And Christian is going to come up later and talk about exactly what's going on in California with the protests and how they are peaceful. We have people on the ground with our National Action Network LA chapter, literally there on the ground. And she was on the call. We have a 5 p.m. staff call, and she was letting us know how they are safe and they're reporting things wrongly on the news. But they are safe. And that Trump has now called, he's increasing things. He's called the Marines in now for no reason, because it's not necessary. But he's gonna go. I'm gonna go to his Did You Know. He's gonna do his Did You Know. Yes, Junk, is this good news?
Good news,
or is it an announcement?
A plane crashed, but they all survived. A little bit south of Nashville, 24. They all survived.
Okay,
good
that
news.
is good news.
They were skydivers.
Thank you. That was actually good news. All right. Any of y'all, young people? Anybody? No good news? Okay. All right, so we're going to jump into our Black History Fact from Brother Ernest Waters. Let's clap him up. And right after him, we're going to jump into Lift Every Voice and Sing. Dan is not here, who is our Artivism contributor, so if you want to help us come lead tonight, just come to the front. Okay.
Does anybody know what today is? Today is the day, 85 years to the day, that Marcus Garvey had a heart attack and died. All right? We have a couple of important dates this week that's coming up, and one of them is June the 11th. Does anybody know what June the 11th is? Listen, we don't need that from you. All right? It's Charlie Rangel's birthday. All right? That means he passed away just before his birthday. All right. Does anybody know Marcus Garvey's middle name? All right. There we got it. All right. Now,
What was it? Messiah.
Messiah. You knew that. Anyway, Marcus Garvey did a lot for the movement, all right? He founded the Universal Negro Improvement Association. He launched the Black Star Incorporated, championed global black unity. Now, he did a lot of things that would bring black people together and all people that wanted to follow the black regime. He came out and he showed power and finesse. And he was a lot like Reverend Dr. Al, because he led a lot of people and he was in the movement. So therefore, we had a lot of things that was done for him standing up for black people. So you all could clap that up because he deserves a hand. Wednesday, we celebrate the birthday of Congressman Charlie Rangel. Charlie, as he was called, he was born in Harlem, in Harlem Hospital. He served in the war. He was decorated with a Purple Heart and a Bronze Star. He did something that a lot of us didn't do. Go into service and dedicated our life. He made a difference. When he came out of the service, for 49 years, he fought the cause, and he was a congressman for the black people. Now, he's not just a congressman for the black people. He's a congressman for all people. But he stood for the truth. And a lot of times when you stand for the truth, you make a difference, because there's so much lies out there that they can't deal with the truth. Has anybody seen the movies that says, you can't handle the truth? So therefore, we all have to learn the truth wins in the end. So when we get out there, we have to remember these two people, Marcus Garvey and Charlie Rangel. Two men that made a difference in the world today. Two men that made a difference for all black folks and all people. So as you go home tonight, as you lay down, remember this. People like Charlie Rangel and Marcus Garvey made a difference in the world today. And this is why we celebrate them. Those two men made a difference that nobody else could make and did things that nobody else can do. So today we celebrate Marcus Garvey, and Wednesday we celebrate Charlie Rangel's. And his funeral is going to be on Friday at St. Patrick's Cathedral. So if you all want to come on by, but be there early because the seat is going to be limited. All right? And thank you all. And this is Black History, Marcus Garvey and Charlie Rangel, two men who made a difference in everyone's life. There you go, baby. I
Thank you. Please stand for the singing of Black History. Sorry, lift every voice and sing.
Lift every voice and sing till earth and heaven ring, ring with the harmony of liberty. Let our rejoicing rise high as the listening skies. Let it resound loud as the rolling sea. Sing a song full of the faith that the dark past has taught us. Sing a song full of the hope that the presence has brought us. Facing the rising sun, a new day begun. Let us march on till victory is won.
All right, thank you. Whosoever will choir, y'all may sit down. So, see Dan, see? They was holding it down, Dan. All right, so we're gonna jump right into our Did You Know articles. Dom, are you going first? Or Christian? Okay, well, I'll jump in. I'll start then, since everyone says no one's doing anything. I'll start with the action alerts, and then I'll jump into my article. All right, who knows which week it is for DEI? Huh? Which week? Not this week. Which week just passed? How many have we done? 54. 74 or 54, Tony V? Ocean?
No, this week is 74, and next week is 75.
Any?
This is 75 years.
So 74 is the correct, was last week. You've done 74 DEI actions thus far, correct? Is any opposition? Any opposed? All right, so that's a yay. So clap yourselves up. This is 74 weeks it's been. This Thursday will be 75, and then for Juneteenth, it will be 76. So that will be the 76th action. We invite all of y'all, we're going to send a formal letter to Guns Down Life Up, formally, to join us on Thursday outside. Not inside, outside. Why? Because we need to be outside for diversity, equity, and inclusion. We want y'all to be outside with us because it's impacting the colleges, it's impacting your jobs, it's impacting banks, it's impacting everything. And we want you to understand because y'all have the energy, y'all have the voices, y'all are the future. Y'all need to understand the issues at hand, okay? Right, so it's next Thursday, well, it's this Thursday, but next Thursday, we really want everybody to join us. Also, those watching, if you want to be partners, you can just call right here to the House of Justice. That's 1-877-626-4651. Again, that's 1-877-626-4651. You can call any day after 9 o'clock, before 6 o'clock, and let us know that you want to be a partner for DEI Thursdays. It's for our Juneteenth effort. You can speak to our House of Justice Coordinator, Reverend Ronald McHenry. You can speak to Minister Christian Matthew, who's also here during the week, Mr. Arthur, or any of our lead volunteers. I don't see Coco, but we definitely want y'all to join us so we can fill that entire block up so they can hear us from the top of the building to the bottom floor. But I just wanted to bring that to our attention before we go there. What are we doing August 28th? Does anybody know? March, and why are we marching on Wall Street? That's where the money is. Thank you, Lotion. She's been listening to Rev. So August 28th is usually where do we march on August 28th? On Washington. Why? To who? To honor Martin Luther King's, the original March on Washington in 1963, right? Everybody should know what we're doing for jobs and justice, right? All right, so that's usually we're marching on Washington. On August 28th, we will be marching on Wall Street in New York City. So we don't have to get on buses to go over at 4 o'clock in the morning. We'll be getting on buses to go downtown, right? Yes. Unless y'all want to take the train, you can just meet us there as well. You don't have to get on the bus. All right? But people will be coming from around the nation, and we want our young people, we want our elders, we want our seasoned, and we want our in-between, everyone there. Everyone there. We want to make sure the disability advocates will have a way to get there, and you'll be on the front. Our challenge, our Hear Challenge, our deaf advocates, they will definitely be in the front. We will make sure that everyone is involved because this fight is for all of us, not just some of us. and we're being impacted every day. And it seems like, I was talking to Christian, it seems like Trump does not care. It's like he has his own agenda, and he's focused on that, and whatever everybody else is doing, he does not care. So we want to make sure that he knows we're here, we're not letting up on you, we're on your butt, we're on your tail, and we know we're focused. Even if you're not, we're focused on our agenda, and we will be marching on Wall Street, and that will impact the entire nation. That actually will impact the entire world, because Wall Street helps move the world. So that's why we're going there, and if you're confused, I welcome you to come access off the mic. Why are we doing this? Challenge us so that you fully understand and that you can properly mobilize yourselves. Because the organizers here at National Network is all of us. It's not just Rev, it's every single one of us. We have to help get the word out and get the agenda out, all right? All right, so moving on. Chris, you ready? Let's clap on Christian as he comes. And let's clap on, did y'all hear Christian on the radio this past Saturday? Was he not fire? Well, he was on the radio, TV, he was on everything, excuse me.
Well, thank you. And about the March on Wall Street, there will be buses to leave from the House of Justice. So you do not have to take the train. If you don't want to, there will be buses for everybody to leave from here. And if you need a bus to leave from your specific chapter, if you have a chapter, please call the House of Justice so that we can get you a bus. All right, so I'm going to talk about two things in one. Ashley already brought this up briefly, but how many days away are we from the primary for New York City mayor? And all
24.
24. So 24. Today's the what? So how many days is that? Somebody do math. Okay, thank you. The children, the young people. And then when does early voting start? 14th, which is Saturday. All right, so did anybody watch the debate this week? Okay, we're gonna talk about that, but we're also gonna talk about what is happening in LA. I wanna start with that first. Does anybody know what is happening in LA? Ocean, really quickly. 1 second. Go ahead, Ocean, come here for just a second so we can hear what is happening in LA. Do you know?
Trump has released ICE, and they were fighting back, and they were protesting against unlawful activities with ICE.
Yes, thank you. Give Ocean a hand. So let me tell you actually how it originally started. ICE used a tactic that happened to be used only by the FBI previously. ICE sent a text message to over 2,000 immigrants and said that they needed to come in for a regular routine check-in. Little did these folks know that they would be getting detained and arrested and sent on planes to go back into South America. That is how it originally started. Not a lot of people know that. Not a lot of the news is reporting it unless you're actually reading articles to understand. But when you do more research, and we were talking about it earlier before Huddle started, ICE sent these folks text messages and said, oh, come in for a regular routine check-in with your, they don't have POs, but with their officer, and you go about your day. Little did they know they were all put in one room, surrounded, and taken into custody. So the people of LA said, no, we're not having that. And they stood up and they fought back against it. And what is so significant about this is that all the protests were peaceful until Trump deployed the National Guard. Nothing was wrong, nothing was going on. And actually we got some word today, as Ashley was saying, from our LA office. We have a chapter there, but we also have staff there that helped to coordinate everything on the Western region. And she was explaining how, a lot of this was antagonized by law enforcement, that ICE and the National Guard were doing things to antagonize. Now, another report has just come in that Trump is now deploying the Marines to combat these people. Now, I want you to know something. The Marines are a very skilled group of people. And for you to be taking the Marines from wherever they are to bring them on American soil. Now, I want to ask you a question. Now, none of you are lawyers, but we got to do our research. Okay. Technically, the President of the United States cannot allow American troops on American soil. which is why the National Guard was created. The National Guard was created for that when domestic issues occurred, we did not use our nation's military against our own people. You should never use the military against your own people, especially not in a democracy. This is not a dictatorship. We are not in any of these third world countries. We are the nation's, well, the world's superpower. And this is what we're dealing with. So, I want to give you some history on this. So, the only time the president can bring American troops on American soil is for 4 reasons. An insurrection, which we know happened on January 6th of 2021. And he did not do anything about it. What does an insurrection mean? I'm glad you asked. An insurrection means that a group of people are forcing their way to overturn the U.S. government, in simple terms. Point blank, period. And what the Trump supporters did on January 6th of 2021 was to overturn the election of the United States of America. By force, thank you. They threatened to hang the seated vice president. They threatened to hang the seated Speaker of the House, and were able to enter into the Senate chambers of the United States where a law enforcement agent was killed. Trump is supposed to be the president of law and order and the president of police, but he did not do nothing with that family of that Capitol Police officer that was killed. Neither did he do anything with those folks that were injured. And a lot of Capitol Police came against him when he ran for president the second time and said, this is the man that allowed them to hurt us, and we're going to let him back in the White House. A lot of them came against him. So that's number one. Number two, the only time the president can deploy the military is during a natural emergency. When a hurricane happens, when a major earthquake happens, when a tornado, a tsunami, any natural Mother Nature, anything like that, and we don't have enough National Guard, then you can deploy them. Lastly, that's 2 and 1. And then lastly, if all other National Guard officers are incapacitated, then the president is able to deploy the U.S. military. Each state has their own National Guard. He called the California, what's next to them? What's that? Washington. Washington State. Arizona. What else is there? All of those states are there. You could have called them. Nevada. They're all connected. Arizona. Oregon. There we go. They're all right there. They could have got on the plane. Everything would have been all right. Now Trump is breaking the law by doing this. He's breaking something called Posey-Kumatati's Act. Forgive me if I say it wrong, which prohibits the military being on American soil without expressive law or authorization from Congress. That's one. And then lastly, they are not breaking any laws. They are protesting, which started off peacefully. I also watched a video from the Daily Mail, if any of you know what that is, where their reporter was struck on purpose. It's on the news, and it's reported the lady was standing there recording and reporting, and the officer literally lifted up his gun of rubber bullets and shot it at her and the reporter purposely, and it's on camera. So we have to be careful with what Trump is doing, which is what is going to bring into my second point of this election with mayor. Now I'm going to step over here when I say this, because y'all know I don't like to get in trouble. Don't laugh. I heard somebody laugh. Was that you that laughed at me? It's okay. All right. Now, when we're dealing with this election for mayor, y'all have to be very careful. I told y'all this last week. Do not get caught up in personalities when you're dealing with this election. Who actually watched the debate? Who had the best plan out of all those people that ran? Do you know, Caesar, in your opinion? In my opinion, Michael Blake had the best plan out of anybody running for mayor. He's the only one that has had some sort of sense in this election. Now, I am a very big Zoran supporter. Ashley knows this well. But we both echoed some of our own concerns. My concern, and we agreed, was that if he is to become mayor, will he be allowed to run the city as mayor? Why? Because we know who really controls this city. The money that controls this city and where it comes from. My second, not just Wall Street, but one group of people in particular. I'm not going to say that on the mic, Ashley. Then you have Adrian Adams, who is my second candidate, actually, on my ranked choice voting, who has a very good plan. The problem is that people do not really believe in her. And I agree with them. Just because you were the speaker of the city council does not mean that that automatically elevates you to become mayor. That was her main focal point. But she's my second person. I'm just telling you this out loud. I'm saying that. I'm telling you, I'm voting for Adrian Adams. Okay. Second, though. She's not my first person. Michael Blake is my third. And then the current comptroller, who's a very sweet guy and has a very good plan as well. The thing is that he's just not very relatable. You know, he's not kinfolk, as my grandmother would say. He's not really kinfolk. Brad Lander, the comptroller. And the reason why I'm saying this and connecting these two articles is because who becomes the mayor of New York is going to be the one that has to face off with Trump in the next couple of months. And I'm closing with this, and I'm going to just take 2 or 3 comments about what people are thinking about the election and what Trump is doing in LA. Is because something just happened over the weekend that also a lot of people in this city don't know. ICE just arrested 3 students in Queens, high school students in a public school. This is not a charter school, this is not a Catholic school, this is not a private school. There's only one person that has the authority. It was also reported that they had no warrant. ICE can only enter a school if there is a warrant. And the only other way that they can get into a school without a warrant is by going through somebody in very high power. Who else would that have been in this city? Exactly. So your current mayor has given these people silent authorization. He hasn't said it out of his mouth, but silent authorization to take students out of our schools. So Ms. Crystal, so good to see you. And we're going to let you go ahead and have your
Hi, Christian.
2 minutes of fame. How are you?
Good to see you.
Oh, good.
You're the reason why I show up.
Well, thank you. That's good.
So anyway,
Thank you.
what's the guy one you said Zaho? How you pronounce his name?
Zoran Mandani. Zoran. Oh, you see, I still mess it up.
Zoran Mandani.
Mandani, not
Okay.
I say Mahmoudi, but it's Mandani. Mandani. Thank you, Dominic.
So I don't know how many people know Pelosi. I don't know her first name. She's a city council
Adrian
person.
Adams.
No, Pelosi.
Oh, that's the
one with the
former
white hair. She's a council person for, I think, a district in Queens. Her name is Pelosi.
Oh,
You can
maybe,
look it
I
up.
don't know.
Look it up. She has white hair. She's a city council person. She said, however you pronounce his name, she said he hasn't been in this country long enough to qualify for mayor. That's what she said. That's what she said.
Well, I can say this to you. There is no author. The only thing that qualifies you to be mayor, I can tell you this off the top of my head. That's for president. You can't run for president if you wasn't born here. The only thing that states that you can become mayor is if you're over the age of 18, if you have lived in this city for more than a year, and if you are running in the city where you live in, and he lives here. He's been here for more than a year. He's been here most of his life, he said. He just can't run for president, but he can run for mayor.
Well, Google it because she act like she know everything.
I will.
City
I'll
council
check.
person. The other thing is I want to say congratulations, Dominique.
Well, thank you.
On your she helped produce,
Yes.
something Boulevard?
Sunset.
Yeah, go
Thank
ahead.
you.
Go ahead, Damo.
Oh, Lord. It's getting ghetto in the House of Justice. It's getting a little ghetto in the House of Justice.
Oh my goodness, y'all are funny. So no, I just want to say that this is actually very scary that he's doing this to our young folks. This is honestly what a dictator would do. And from what I'm hearing, there's supposed to be a protest on Saturday because he's supposed to be making his birthday a holiday. From what I
He's
heard.
doing a parade on his birthday.
Well, yeah, he's doing a parade, and he's using the military. That's what I've heard. That is still crazy, because that is making him godlike. Like, that's crazy. Like, we need to stay awoke about this.
Now, OSHA made a good point about that, is that America has never had a military parade. In its whole existence of being a country, we've almost been a country for 250 years. We have never had a military parade in America. Now, go ahead. Memorial Day is different. Memorial Day is different. Veterans Day is not an actual parade. We're talking about a parade with military vehicles and people walking around like that. We've never had that. We're free, thank you. You know, we have a veteran in the building with us. Oh, look at that. I do know, thank you so much. We're a free country. We've never done that here. Thank you so much. Can we clap it up for the veterans? Thank you for your service to America. Go ahead, last comment.
I was invited out to, with, what's his name? The brother sitting in the wheelchair. Ernest, I forgot. I was invited out to what's the name? A debate, and what's his name? Blake was there.
Yes.
The Indian brother, Zoran. And another brother was there. I don't know. They were there. They were talking about how they're going to do this in the city. We're going to put more police on the trains, the buses, and in the community. But they are doing it. You know, there's police out there in my neighborhood on maybe every 2 blocks from the distance where I live at. I see them out there. So I don't know who I'm gonna vote for, or they were saying like 5 things. Hello?
Yeah,
they were saying like,
yeah,
you
sure to get 5
circle
choices. I'm so
5
sorry.
choices.
I actually distracted.
And whatever, I don't know. I just wait till that day.
Yes.
And I'm voting the same time I always vote, in November.
Beautiful. So you're not voting for the primary? You know, the primary is before November. Oh, okay. Oh, okay, beautiful. So you're voting on the 22nd. All right, so that concludes my Did You Know. We need to pray for the people in LA. We need to pray for those that are running for mayor, and that whoever becomes the Democratic person. Oh, Mr. Gilchrist? Yes, go ahead. So sorry.
What about Cuomo to protect us against Trump?
Let me just. Well, we're going to move on from that. I don't know if Cuomo would really protect us, but we're going to move on. Anybody else have anything to say before Damo comes up? Okay, beautiful. Give Dominique, the Tony Award-winning producer, a great big hand. That's her new title, Tony Award producer.
Good evening, y'all.
Encourage them, whoever they're going to vote for, make sure they vote. Yes. Don't sit out the election.
I do agree with that, and you may be hearing some news this week coming from me in regards specifically to the election. So said Christian said me too. So it is what it is, but ultimately we can agree to disagree, whatever it is. We can stand. Ultimately, the point is to empower our community. So whoever we decide to go with, whatever candidate, hopefully you choose a candidate, because the point is to vote. And then secondly, make sure that you choose a candidate who you feel aligns with your mission and what you want and what you believe in. So that's really important. And I feel like in this go round, we have quite a few options, right? So we got a few options to deal with. So let's just make a choice, ultimately, and make sure we go and vote. That's what this is about, because we can't sit and complain later. We talk about, oh, our schools are, messed up. Oh, our communities in a disarray. Okay, we can't make complaints and then we sit on the sidelines and be like, oh, well, we're just too many people. I couldn't choose. I couldn't make a choice. Well, you got a lot of options. You got options. You have the option also to make a different choice. So you have you can make it's a multiple choice thing. So you can choose more than one candidate in case you can't choose okay, I like one. I like this person. Like Christian was going through the different candidates and why he likes this person, and this person may be aligned on one policy that you like, but another candidate may have something else that you like. You can choose both of them. So this election is giving us that option, but let's just make a choice. We have to really prepare ourselves to what's going on in the world and start really from our own community. So I hope that y'all take advantage of this opportunity to vote. Yeah, let's keep it going the way that we know we should be. All right. I want to talk in particular June, as well as Gun Violence Awareness Month. It's also Pride Month. And for those who are literally, there's so many things that are going on in terms of how we as advocates really amplify what we're doing in terms of our advocacy in making sure that we're fighting for the rights of our people. And our people include a lot of different facets of people, in our people, right? We come from different places. We have, different ethnicities even sometimes. Our people are beautiful and is just, different. We got a lot of different, types of us, right? Within our people. And so it's important as advocates that we are inclusive in our fight, right? So we can't be like, oh yeah, I'm down for fighting for keeping DEI alive because it gives opportunities to people of color and this and that and the third, but then we say, oh, LGBTQ rights, yeah, that's y'all's fight. That's not really, I don't really advocate for that. So I think it's important for us to be inclusive in our fight, in our advocacy. And Reverend Sharpton, I feel, has been a prime example of that because, even in his spiritual journey, in his spiritual leadership, he's even spoken out against and for in alignment with a lot of issues, right, as it pertains to the inclusivity of our people and the rights of our people. And in particular, the LGBTQ rights fight has been one that has been going on for a long, long time. We actually, many of you know Queen Mother Magora Kennedy, who used to be here right with us in the flesh, who was one of the activists, a part of the, yeah, I know, thank you. Of this, thank you, I know, I was just expressive. So, yeah, she was a part of the Stonewall movement, thank you. And that was one of the first moments where we actually, got to really see visibly what was going on in terms of fighting for the rights of those who identify as LGBTQ. So in this article, I'm not gonna be before you long, but I do want to talk about as we are celebrating as we're in Pride Month, Happy Pride Month to any of those who celebrate that. We definitely support that and definitely want to wish our Happy Pride. And in particular, as we're talking about what's happening, especially with the Trump administration and everything that's going on, all the rollbacks that's happening and all these decisions and everything that is coming out of not only his mouth, but from the administration, it's atrocious, right? It's a lot going on. In particular, they have, as Pride Month has commenced, the Trump administration launched a series of actions that literally undermine the gains of LGBTQ Americans that they have made in the past couple of decades. And so, as I believe, when is the Pride Parade? Is it next weekend? Last Sunday of the month? And as you know, we actually have a non-contingency that walks in the parade every year, whether it be with the mayor, the governor, or one public official, because, we just want to stay safe and want to, make sure that we're out there. And it's really, to me, one of the best times of the year. Like, I love going to the parade, and I love seeing all the festivities and everything that happens that's going on. And so I also understand that, you know, and even in conversations with a lot of our brothers and sisters who identify with such, it's a lot going on. The struggle is real. And a lot of the time, we don't talk about a lot of the accomplishments, right, that happen from this struggle, from Stonewall to the policies that have, you know, been implemented on same-sex marriage, and how, you know, as time has progressed, so has the rights of LGBTQ people. Just last night, the first non-binary, you know, person won a Tony Award in a leading role. And so these are things that we are seeing, happening across the globe in terms of the progression and the rights of our people. So anyway, I say all that to say, this Defense Department said it was going to rename a ship honoring a gay rights icon. The U.S. Park Police said it would fence off an iconic park in what they call gay neighborhood in Washington, D.C., which of course is the capital city of the country. And the FBI actually solicited tips on how medical providers are offering care, gender-affirming care, and Medicare, and health care, and different services to those, you know, people who are same-gender loving, who undergo transitions and other things that happen when they need, you know, they need Medicare. So they're actually starting to like kind of patrol people when they come in for their services, for their Medicare services, and they're actually starting to pinpoint and target these particular people. And these particular people, you know, whether they join organizations, not to say like name, but whether they join organizations that have like documentation, if they volunteer at a hospital, if they, you know, anything like that where it's documented and it's in the system, they start to actually like create like a profile on these people, and they're actually starting to target them. And so this is something that has, we actually talked about this on Keeping It Real a lot. But now it's like there's the protection for citizens in this country is becoming really questionable. And at a time where, you know, we're supposed to be celebrating pride, right? Or celebrating the liberation or the progression, right, of how we have overcome in certain rights. Being able to vote, being able to marry who we want, being able to eat in whatever restaurant we want. Like, these are, you know, gains, and these are the progress of the movement, right? These are things that are the progression of the movement, of those who fought for something to accomplish something that created change. And so I think that this was really weird to actually hear about. And if we're talking about, like I said, if we're thinking about local politics or who we're gonna vote for mayor, but at the same time, we're actually dealing with like the federal government actually being able to like pinpoint and create like profiles and stuff on us based on, you know, the fact that we identify as shame, gender loving, and target us and things like that. I think to me that is like getting to be a little dangerous. So how can we as advocates like protect our people, like protect us from being able not only to be targets, but how can we like progress forward in terms of like policy and things that we can do to help keep us aligned in terms of how we advocate for each other? Think about that. I'll keep reading the article though. I also just wanted to point out, and maybe this is not something that is just interesting to you, but I feel like especially young people, and we're dealing with, you know, come on up, all kinds of issues, like, you know, and dealing with especially young people in terms of like homelessness, and in terms of like how, you know, mental health is being addressed and being supported, especially in this city, if we can just look at this city alone. And when we're talking about, you know, this community it could be a very vulnerable community. If we're talking about young people who are becoming targets, or who may become targets, or who just want to feel safe, you know, being able to love who they want, or being able to love who we want. We should be able to do that without having to feel targeted, or having to feel like, you know, we're not safe, or, you know, especially not protected. I don't know how y'all feel, but please share.
Mental health, when we hear that word, I know for me, sometimes when I first heard it, it's like, well, that means you have a sickness. But what's really happening is we are sick of what's being done to us. That's what got us sick. It's not that we running around with this illness called mental illness that's got us sick. We are sickened by cops killing us, how we killing one another. Everybody's tattooed from the neck up. We can't figure our kids out. We can't figure the system out. They brought us here and changed. Look at our state. So that's what got us sickened. And as I respect Dominique, I came up here because I know when I speak, a lot of people get maybe turned off, or they just, it just irritates people because I'm a great orator. I know it. And I can say that. We can give ourselves, we can pat ourselves on the back. People don't want us to do that. They want us to be all hidden and everything. If you cute, say you cute. But anyhow, I appreciate Dominique for bringing this up, because this is one of the few places we have to express ourselves. We as black people, we don't have no place really to express ourselves but places like NAN. So we need to clap that up, because we deserve places where we can speak out. And for Dominique to bring this up, I applaud her, because I'm going to tell you something. Gays, I got gays in my family. I got a flamboyant nephew. He's brilliant. His mother paid a lot of money for him to go to a certain school in Harlem. He's a genius, got an all-girl band, all of that. Wears dresses, lipstick, the whole 9 yards. But don't get in his face and try to, okay? I don't even get in his face because I don't want to get stabbed. But anyway, I appreciate Dominique bringing this to the platform, because we need to start talking about it. We need to.
Okay. Thank you so much for your comment. So let me also just clarify in particular what is happening right now. So President Trump and other presidents have done this, I guess, in the past, President Bush, but they're not acknowledging or issuing proclamations in celebration of Pride Month in various states, right? So in New York, of course, New York is very, pride friendly, and so that's not something that we necessarily have to deal with. But if you look at other states, Georgia, other states, even in Kentucky, and other areas, is not as welcoming, right? Or is not as safe, right? And welcoming. And so I feel like, with the president and the administration outwardly saying or denying, acknowledging, that the celebration of certain communities and the rights and the progression of our rights, I feel like that's also a slap in the face, because if a president is going to be the president, they should be the president for all people, not just certain people and some people, but they should respect and support and acknowledge all people that they are governing over. So I have an issue with that. But I also have an issue with the fact that there are policies, literally, like I said, that are being placed to target a certain community, and I feel like we just can't be silent about that. I feel like I feel wrong to be like, oh, okay, this is not our fight, this is their fight, and just not have any information or knowledge or just no kind of acknowledgement towards what is happening and how this community, of course, is being targeted, and it's despicable. So that's my opinion. But thank you. Krishna.
What I want to say is that this fight goes into the broader fight with DEI, which is what I don't want people to think that DEI, and what I think a lot of times, and Ashley spoke to this a couple of weeks ago, is that when you hear about DEI, you should think about George Floyd. But not only should we think about George Floyd, but we should think about a lot of different things, because DEI started with George Floyd, but they have now expanded DEI to encompass everything that is now encompassing. And the fight that we're now having to deal with is one we're having to deal with the weaponization of Christianity, which that was a problem before. It calmed down, but now it's a problem again. The Bible does say, certain things, but the first thing God gave us was free will. And whatever you choose to do with your life is what you choose. I don't think that as regular people, we should be allowed to create laws based off of the Bible. I don't think that's right. I don't think that other religions should do it. I think that that is a really huge infringement on civil liberty. And then the second thing that we're dealing with is the weaponization of white nationalism. That has always been a problem. That calmed down, but now has reared its head again. And so these are the two things that I want people to be like really honing in about this article, is that this is a broader DEI fight, but we're dealing with the weaponization of Christianity in a negative form. Because, you know, the Bible is something that speaks about life, that speaks about unity, but they're turning it, they're switching it back how they did with slavery, and basically said that we ought to be slaves and all of this stuff that is really not true. And so I think that that's where this article is leading us, but just the way that the world is going right now.
Just to piggyback off of what Christian said, just a little bit, I forgot what book it was in the Bible, but it did say that God does not force people to come to them. You can educate them about him, but don't force them to, to worship him and everything. But I honestly feel like that this is like a rise and fall of progression, and then there's regression, because remember in the past, in the United States and pretty much everywhere wasn't so welcoming for LGBTQ, and so we're basically are progressing. Like Pride Month have only been, the month of June has only became Pride Month for like only for 5 years now, 5 or 6. Please correct me if I'm wrong. About 5 years. Well, it's relatively new compared to how long we've been celebrating other cultures or dedicating a whole month to other groups. So it's relatively new. And so what I'm saying that it's expected where some people may roll back to gain 1999? 1999, so that's about 56 years?
26.
So roughly about 26 years, but it's still relatively new. No,
Go ahead, Ocean.
I'm sorry, but yeah.
Okay.
But either way, it's relatively new, and it's still progressing, and look how long we've taken with the civil rights movement, and it's still happening now. So with Pride Month, and I just want to tell you guys, it's relatively new. Yes, we're going to see some rollback, but there's also going to be some gains in this fight. And if we continue to stay on them when it's being regressed, they will know that it's serious and that we want and that it's our right to fight for them. So that's what I just want to say. Mm-hmm.
It's been like that. I have family members have been, like they used to say, in the closet. And I had a cousin that I grew up with. We have to know these people. That man in that White House, he doesn't care. He don't care about us. Just like the young man that when it was the football, when it was halftime, he don't care. He doesn't care about us, and he never did. They're not like us. We're not like them. We're not like them. And, Thank you. But they're not like us, and they don't care about us. They don't care about our community. If I don't keep my community clean, I can't blame a white person that there's dirt or garbage. I have to confront my neighbors or my neighbor children to keep it clean. If you don't want to keep it clean, because there's garbage everywhere. There's garbage cans everywhere. If we don't take care of us, I'm here to get information from Dr. Reverend Al Sharpton, and that's why I come here. Information from his daughters and his wife, Miss Sharpton. I come here to listen, to get the information, because we need it. And I want to hear from the young people, not just from us. I want to hear what the young people are listening or what they're saying, because we're standing up here and bringing it to y'all about what's going on, or what Ashley and them is going on, telling us, but I want to hear what the young people is talking about with their friends. Thank you.
Sister Coco.
To answer your question about some of the things we could do, I think that we could have like Congressman Richie Torres come and speak, because he is a congressman that is openly gay. Having people that do identify as gay would be a good platform for this time for them to come and speak, and also possibly share any of the issues that they've had. I think we should bring in groups like The Door that support youth that are that identify as that, and talk about how the youth that identify as that oftentimes get kicked out of their homes and they are homeless. So we have a lot of youth that identify like that are homeless, and the issues that they go through, how they have to, oftentimes to survive, they go into prostitution, and those who get unalived, nobody talks about it, they don't make it in the news, nobody advocates for them. So that's another issue that should be at the platform during this time, you know, and also information about the flag that they hold, right? So we know a Pan-African flag. What's the flag that the homosexuals wave? Because they have more than one, right? And so when you walk in the street, when they show that, like when you're at Union Square, they flash that flag. And at the city council, they have all the flags up there. You should know what those flags represent, so you won't walk past them, because a lot of us at NAN know about the Pan-African flag. But you should know, especially this time, we should see those flags. We should also, you know about movies that highlight those issues, and have some youth to explain about how they got kicked out. I think those are good. These are platforms, because this month is also Men's Mental Health Month, Men's Mental Health Awareness Month. And like I remember when here at NAN, they had showed all men therapists, and we showed youth with their white coats on that was interested in being psychiatrists, and I thought that was excellent. So we should highlight some, some people that identify as homosexuals, so we could see them too, and embrace them, because, if we don't see them, like they really, I think the Democrats don't do that well. I don't think they highlight that population. And so when things go on, you see that there's a rift in the Democratic Party, especially with the church. So we should embrace them, especially at this time, show them and what they're interested in, have their little ballroom thing that they do. They do a lot of different things. And if you don't know them, that's a problem with our education. We're not educating you. We're keeping it in the dark. It needs to be more, especially at this time, highlighted what kind of things they do, what kind of lifestyle they have, how they get into prostitution, how they are ostracized, and that is today. That still happens. So that's something we could do.
All right, well, thank you so much. I'm going to turn it back over to Ashley.
Let's clap of our art extraordinaire. So to that segment, there was a lot of things said, right? I apologize to those in the LGBTQIA community if some things were offensive, because I heard some things, and I'm going to be transparent. Some people have been with us at Huddle since we first started, and it's been a journey. We learned about, and when we first started Huddle, which was about 13 years ago now, LGBTQIA was not even an acronym. It was not it was not even that. So there was a specific way to talk about that community. Dominique mentioned Mother Magora Kennedy. She was one of the people that was here since the first Huddle who helped teach us how to speak to and about that community, to not offend them, to not say certain things. Some people are offended by homosexuals as a term. So I apologize about that. Some people are offended by, I don't think you should call them they. What if white person called black people they, we get offended. There's certain ways to talk about the issue even if you do not relate. You have to be respectful. As Dominique said, this is the House of Justice, and that is something that Reverend Sharpton has been fighting for the LGBTQIA community. My aunt she loves women, and she's a woman. And she loved women since she was about 11. So she was sneaking Rev down to the village to go with her because she was his babysitter, which is why he always thought it was normal. He had to protect his sister, that's normal. And you're not gonna come at his sister at all. So he was fighting for those rights, trans rights, before it was a thing, before LGBTQIA was a thing. Stonewall, like Dominique said, Magora Kennedy was there before Stonewall was a term, known, any of that. She was outside literally just fighting to be herself, fighting for her freedom, fighting for those outside with her. Now it's common. For y'all's generation, to be with a girl is almost cool. To kiss a girl on Instagram, even if you don't like them, is almost cool because it's trendy, or boy. Or to be extra. I know on TikTok there's I forgot his name, the young man with the super long nails, and he cooks for his boyfriend, and he has like millions of followers. It's a thing, but it's trendy. And we don't even understand the culture of it. We don't even understand the freedom of it, of basically how people were prohibited from loving who they loved. Literally, died. People lost their lives because of who they loved. So I want us, obviously this is Pride Month, we have to have a proper huddle about what this entire situation is about. It's not a situation, it's LGBT, lesbian, bisexual. First of all, let's name them so you understand what I'm saying. Lesbian, Tony Veer, wake up. Because that's how when we go to sleep on the culture, that's how we offend others. It all matters. It all matters. And this is not my did you know, but it matters because we had this conversation and I was offended sitting there. So I know some of my friends who are part of that community was offended. So we have to have this conversation better. We have to teach it better and be more inclusive and actually pay attention when having the conversation so that we are properly informed, right? Because we don't want to offend anybody who is a part of the culture or part of that life. Some people don't like anybody. Some people are just straight A agents. They like what they like. They like brains. They like nothing. So we have to just be inclusive of everyone, right? Asexual. Look at her. See, she's listening. See? Sorry. But I like that. I want us to be aware and not just be closed-minded and just ignorant, okay? All right, so we're going to have a prayer huddle. And my friend Daniel, who moved to the Bronx, he used to be an avid member of the LGBTQ committee. We're going to welcome him back because he's one of the leaders. I forgot the name of the group in the Bronx, but they serve specifically trans youth and homeless youth. So we're going to welcome him back. I heard you, Coco, so we're going to do that. All right, so this last one is about Guns Down, Life Up. All right, so I'm expecting to hear from y'all, right? Who has been a part of the anti-gun violence movement over the last 10 years? Okay, good. Okay, so this should be, y'all should be aware of this. All right, so youth gun violence in the Bronx rises as overall city crime rate falls. Who lives in the Bronx? Oh, that's about half of the room. All right. Is it getting more violent? Do you feel that, or is it normal? Has it escalated? It has escalated. Okay. All right. So overall crime rates are falling. Listen to this. Overall, which means what? Hey, there we go. Overall crime rates are falling across the Bronx, but gun violence is rising amongst teens and young adults. As Gun Violence Awareness Month kicks off, leaders in the Bronx are highlighting a concerning pattern of youth gun violence. Our community is still reeling from the killing of 16-year-old Yvette Jeffrey, said Bronx DA Darcel Clark. Did anybody hear of that shooting or killing? All right. Investigators say Yvette was killed after a 14-year-old boy who had been punched and knocked to the ground during a schoolyard fight was slipped a pistol by someone and then allegedly fired 3 shots into a crowd. Jeffrey, an innocent bystander, was caught in the crossfire. She died from a gunshot wound to the head. So far in 2025, the NYPD has tracked 38 shooting victims under the age of 21 and 64 minors arrested on gun-related charges. Christian, do you believe those stats? Most part? Does everybody believe those stats? I don't. I don't believe that. I don't believe there were only 38 shooting victims under the age of 21 this year. I don't believe that. Okay, in the Bronx. But anyway, that's to me, that's where I'm about to go, because I know Guns Down, Life Up does not do this, but I feel that people and some anti-violence people manipulate the numbers, and that matters, But anyway, in response to the gun violence crisis, Bronx leaders are urging parents to enroll their children in youth programs like Bronx Connect's Release the Grip, which aims to keep kids off the street by funneling them into internships and after-school programs. I grew up in the Bronx. I do not want to arrest anyone, let alone another teenager with a gun, because at 13, 12, 14, that's a hard start to life, said the NYPD Assistant Chief Benjamin Gurley. When the handcuffs are on, it's too late. When the ambulance is coming, it's too late. When we're talking to someone in a hospital bed, it's too late. It has to start in the home. This video, and I'm gonna play it during lunch, this was the press conference, and that's GDLU led that. So I don't know if any of y'all were there, right? I asked about people being in the fight with us, the gun violence fight, because we used to participate in the annual June, because Gun Violence Awareness Month is June, so all of the anti-violence groups do something in June, which is good to help amplify the issue. But it's also a little bit performative, right? Every June, we were a part of, Cecil, remember we walked down the Bronx, we led that, Dominique Johnson, Malaysia, they was your little Patrice, all outside, screaming and hollering. Goldie, you were there. We went to Jersey, a few places. We helped get funding for some of those groups, right? You just said the Bronx, the violence is getting worse, right? So if the funding is going up and there's more being done, and I'm just being transparent, I'm not here to knock anybody because I don't want this to turn into that. What are the real issues? Why is the gun violence amongst young people increasing? Is it access to guns? Is it lack of anything to do in the neighborhood? Is it lack of resources? Is it boredom? Is it what you see on TV? Is it music? Come, tell me. It's all of them? Really? Come on, tell us.
Also, like, if y'all don't know, it's kind of like a trend now to like put on like a tough persona, and like I feel like a lot of like the drill music and stuff like that that's going around, like the drill music, like.
So that's really real. Drill music really
yeah, like it became common to like diss deads and stuff like that. So because of that, the diss and dead stuff, I don't know. I feel like that impacted like the crime rates like with youth a lot, like crazy.
Thank you. All right. Y'all wanna add anybody? Come on, D.
To basically just bounce off what he said, I've graduated now, and then all I see middle schoolers come outside with is nothing but shiesties.
Middle schoolers?
Yeah, they all got their Nike Tech ski mask on and stuff of that nature. And also, I would like to just add, I'll end with this. It's not unbelievable for me to believe that the stats are kids under 21, because I myself have dealt with a point in time where I was younger, I was standing up for another schoolmate of mine, and I too have dealt with somebody trying to almost take my life. So, and he was around 16 or something like that. So if I dealt with that back then, best believe it's just like that with other kids nowadays and stuff.
Wait, stay here. How long ago was that?
I was in 5th grade at the time when I dealt with that.
So it wasn't.
I'm 23 now, and yeah.
Oh, okay. That was like 11, 12 years ago.
Well, not all of them due to gun violence. Gun violence, I guess, fortunately, but yes, some of them have.
But is it because of culture, the music? Why?
Yeah, I would say it's everything that you just mentioned in the ball, and how our society is, everything's trying to have everything just like all that information is being pushed in the phone all day. And then a lot of my peers and stuff, and that's all they're looking at all day. That's all, it's in their side of their line of sight at the end of the day. So
I'm gonna be a devil's advocate. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I want you to stay here and I want you to listen too.
Sure.
So my auntie Andrea, I'm sorry to put you on the spot. She used to be a police officer, right? The end of this article was quoted by a cop. Now I know my auntie Audrey. She's not prejudiced. She ain't racist. Nothing is wrong with her. She is one of the sweetest people you ever met, right? But she was outside, worked the beat, outside. Well, outside, right. So there are good cops, there are bad cops. At the end of the article, there was a quote from a cop basically talking about gun violence. We do know certain things that are said about our community, right? So how do we not feed into the stereotype and say that we are this and we are that, but still try to solve the issues? Honestly. That's not a trick question.
I feel like it's a lot of work.
So a lot of cops say basically, and a lot of cops, they say it's lack of parenting. But go ahead, Alexa. Sorry, go ahead. Right. So they say it's gang culture. That was good. So basically, it's not even about the police. So Alexis said the big homies, which is basically the gang leaders.
Yeah.
The OGs in the community should do more in basically increasing the peace. That's true too. That was good. Sorry, that was good too. Okay, yeah, Christian help. Christian help. That was good.
Before I came to Nan, Ashley met me, just like everybody else, and I came from the gun violence spectrum. Now, in my opinion, I agree with what Alexis is saying. I think that in order for gun violence to really cease is if it starts in community. There is something, I don't know if you guys are aware, there's a gang, I don't know if there's, no, they're no longer a gang, but there used to be a gang in the Bronx called the Black Spades. They are, but they're a little different now.
Aren't they good now?
That is, let me be careful. Some of them, they're still shaky. Thank you, Alexis. Some of them are shaky. But the Black Spades, now, the neighborhood that they're in is very patrolled. Negatively, it could, no, by them.
Oh, by them. Okay.
And it has been proven that in the neighborhood that they are in, crime has significantly reduced. Not because of police, but because of them, which showed that by transforming the gang, it transformed the community. They also now live in a community, come up Alexis to the mic, they also live in a community that's very beautiful now.
Really?
The DA just did research that showed numbers that said that young people, not just young people, but polls show that people that live in a more better looking community are less likely to have crime, which is why Lower Manhattan does not have gun violence. But up here has a lot because our neighborhoods look ugly.
That's interesting.
We don't have green space, we don't have community centers, we don't have things that make us want to have community. That's what it is. It's not the fact of that we don't have it, it's the fact that we don't have the sense of community. When you go into these other neighborhoods, it is the actual community that have not just put their money together, but also their resources. Because, you know, a lot of things in New York City is really more resources than money. And so the statistics are showing, and that was a proven, I don't know when they did this, but I remember the Black Spades, even as a kid, it was really bad wherever they were, and then all of a sudden everything shifted, and now that community has some of the lowest, if even crime, period. Now, they have crime, but some of the lowest crime rates, and they're in the Bronx, and they're in still, the surrounding area is still considered high crime, but that particular area that they are in has little to no crime. And that goes back to Alexis's point that if the big homies were to step up and take lead in the community, that is what really needs to be, which gun violence prevention organizations are supposed to already be doing. They're supposed to hire the big homies. That is the purpose of CMS. You are not supposed to hire your family members. You're not supposed to hire people because you know them unless you know that they're credible. The job of a credible messenger is to diffuse situations, to prevent situations, and to respond to situations when they happen. That is the exact role of a credible messenger. They're also supposed to have a background. If they don't have a background, they do not qualify to be a credible messenger. Ashley could not be a credible messenger. I couldn't be a credible messenger. Anybody here that does not have a background in that nature should not be a credible messenger. There are tiers to it. You have hospital responders, you have credible messengers, you got the violence interrupters. Those are all different. Credible messengers, they're the ones that go into the community to diffuse. Violence interrupters intervene right before situations happen. Hospital responders respond to people in the hospital when they get shot, assaulted, or stabbed to stop from retaliation. And then there's prevention that deals with young people. That is the breakdown of CMS from what I remember when I was there.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. All right, come on.
Just to piggyback off of what I said and Christian said, to me, like, let's just look at the bigger picture, right?
To the mic, yeah.
A little closer? Oh, okay, sorry. So if you look in our communities, what do the youth have to look at? Liquor stores, drug addictions on the corners, smoke shops, vape shops, the weed man, McDonald's, chicken spot.
That's true.
Like, the environment is not structured for them. So when they go outside, it's like, either we just gonna get some weed or we gonna go and put our weapons in our pockets and find something that they should not be finding. So we have to find better outcomes for them to go to. Like, why are the community centers closed?
Yeah.
We need to open these community centers and tell them, look, come in here, play basketball, or come play chess, or you have to give them something so they can get off the street. There's nothing in the community to take them off the street. So they're bored. And they're doing things that they're not supposed to be doing. And also, it does start from home. Some people did not have the direction like me, Ashley, Dominique, Christian, and everybody else in here because our parents were strict. We was raised in the church, and all we knew was church and school. We were church kids.
Guilty.
You know, and then we also had a foundation from Canaan Baptist Church. They kept us
Every
tight,
day.
you know what I'm saying? So I think if we had more community centers, more churches involved, thank God for Youth Huddle, of course, but we need to see that because they're bored. They have nothing to do. Now, if we do get that going and there's still something going on, then we have to go back to the drawing board on why are they doing that. Because some of these kids deal with trauma or have been through trauma. And they don't know how to explain themselves, so they act out in the streets. So my thing is, I'm boots on the ground. I like to be outside, sorry. I'm not the type of person that be in the office or whatever. But for me, I would rather do something like have them come inside and let's do basketball games, and if they like football, or teach them something like chess or a different language, and let's get them connected and just be understanding with them. Don't make them feel like you judging them on what they doing, because then that would deter them away from you or from the organization that you have. So once again, we got to do something. If the cops are not going to do anything, and I'm not against police officers. I actually have police officers in my family, so I'm not going to downplay them. But let's do something. Let's stop talking in the building and go outside. Boots on the ground.
There we go. All right, we got 10 minutes until the clergy call, so thank you, Dee, I'm sorry. So resolutions only. Resolve only, please.
Two things. One, there's a book, the author named Malcolm Gladwell, and he said a lot of what was being said here, which was the broken window theory, which is if a broken window is broken and it ain't fixed in 48 hours, all of a sudden the neighborhood starts to go into the toilet. And that's what I'm hearing that we're talking about is going on. I went to junior high school in the Bronx. Lived in the Bronx and grew up in the Bronx. And I remember the Black Spades. I remember the leader of the Black Spades, Mitch Blood Green, walk around with his stomach out and nobody messed with him. Not even the principal was messing with him. That's how scary he was. But the reason why I came up here is because I realized that as a relationship and a personal development coach, I've been coaching people since 1999. Did not know it. Is that if we don't know how to manage our emotions, ain't nothing else we could talk about. Because our brain is structured in 5 parts. 1, we observe something. 2, we have a feeling about what we observed. 3, we have a thought about what we just felt. 4th, we have to decide between thinking and feeling. And then 5, we take action. And what happens is because our feelings come first, we actually listen to that. And I've got plenty of wise quotes about to start a YouTube channel, by the way, called The Instrument Panel, my Tonyisms. And one of them, and one of my main ones is called Feelings are terrific servants, but terrible masters. So if we don't know how to do that, They ain't got that. And I'm just going to say this publicly. I've got a course called How to Be Happy No Matter What. I would love to bring it here. Individually, it would take a while because it's a long course. But it's like you got to understand the emotional side of emotions and the thought intellectual side of emotions. If we don't have that, we're just going to do stuff and then be like, see what had happened was.
Thank you, Tony.
Hello, my name is Evelyn Turner. In 2016, while receiving the Sojourner Truth Award in Co-op City for my community work, I asked a question like, you got all these kids here, why aren't we doing more for them? So I started in 2016 the first college career and resource fair. And I took a break last year because I lost my son to fentanyl in 2020. But we have been very, very successful in doing college fairs, and it's unique because we start with the third grade. We started planting those seeds. So we have brought in doctors, lawyers, engineers, you know, for kids to see. And so my vision, because of a recent medical diagnosis, is to connect with other people that are about the business. Because I don't have time for the bullshit, you know. I said, I need to
Watch your language.
I need to connect with people who are concerned about children. I work in a homeless shelter. I've been working with the homeless for over 30 years. I see mothers in the system who have children. A lot is going on at home. On my team, I have a forensic social worker, works with legal aid, and we talk about what's going on with the kids. She says, the kids are suffering at home. One little boy told her, when I go out to school, I haven't had any breakfast. So he goes out in the street with an attitude. This is today. I have another member who's a psychologist who's working also with children. So what I want to do is, you know, get people together so that we can have events for children. Right now, I have a list of over 1,000 scholarships. If there are any seniors here, you want to start looking for money for school, I can help you with that. But years ago, let me get back to why I came here, it was my spirit. Years ago, I used to go to this church where Reverend Sharpton's wife used to have birthday parties. And I used to go and celebrate the birthday parties.
Canaan.
Canaan, that's what it was.
Yeah.
You know, so this is one of the reasons. So I said, you know, I've been following him all my life. You know, when I came from North Carolina, after the Civil Rights Movement, I was mad, being nonviolent like Dr. King, and I heard this guy talking about, you know, like, I'm not going to hit you, but if you hit me, I'm going to hit you back. That was Malcolm X. So I went running down to the ballroom, and I saw him one time, and the next time he was assassinated.
You saw Malcolm X speak in the Audubon?
Yes.
Wow.
One time. The next week, he was assassinated.
Wow, you're walking history.
Yeah.
Clap her up.
Yeah. So anyway, because
I don't want to wrap you, but we have 6 minutes until we have to close. So
okay,
we would love to work
anyway, we want to work with you and anybody else. Just come to see me so that we can get together and start planning some activities for our children.
Let's do it. And Miss Minnie, you should connect with her too.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say too. I'm so happy to see a lot of youth here, but there should be more because this is really for the youth to come up and speak and become part of the community. And that's what we need. Kids, the problem is yesterday in the Bronx, a boy, 14, I think the girl was 14, was showing off his gun. A gun is not a toy. And New York State has laws, and all of you need to know the laws of New York State. To own a gun, you have to have a permit. And we need to advocate to follow the law, because the law is God, too, to protect us. It's not an enemy. It's supposed to protect us. Some are good and some are no good. And the young people today, they don't really have things because the churches used to be like a field hospital. And today, I know we have rights, but LGBTQ, years ago, private intimacy was it was private. It wasn't supposed to be bragged about. Whether you were a man and a woman, a boy and a girl, a boyfriend and girlfriend, you didn't really want to kiss on the street because another person might not have a partner and feel bad, feel lonely. The world used to be much more emotionally protected.
That's nice. That's nice. Sorry, I didn't mean to laugh. I just thought that's, in this generation, this time, they don't care about none of that. Go ahead. That was beautiful.
I
Yeah,
don't
that was
know.
beautiful.
Like you said, your aunt, my aunt was, and Red might have knew my aunt, but she had passed away a couple years ago.
Auntie Joy probably knew her.
But
Auntie Joy was
she
outside.
might have knew her out in Brooklyn, because that's where my aunt grew up at. She grew up in Brooklyn. And I thank God, you know, they need a program from 11 o'clock or 10 o'clock at night. And I think Saturday, the young woman that was here, yeah, they need a program from 10 to maybe 4 in the morning, because they like to hang out. And it's not just the boys. It's girls that are gathering with the boys, you know. And it's like, if I'm scared, I'm gonna go get my man to solve that problem. And they solving the problems with the guns, you know. But we got to get something that's overnight for the children when they come out of school, because they only giving 5,000, 1,000 jobs to every borough, and it only adds up to $5,000, 1,000 jobs, and there's more children than 5,000. Okay.
Yeah, some of you. Yeah, SYEP. Last comment.
All right, so I'm gonna be brief.
I like a Harry Potter headband.
Shout out to all the Gryffindors. but no, seriously. Another thing that I also blame a lot is what is shown on TV.
One mic, y'all. One mic.
Oh, sorry. I do blame a lot what's shown on TV, because I was discussing this with Christian. He agrees with me about how it's negativity that's constantly being shown to our young people, and like shows like Love and Hip Hop and
Power?
Like
Power?
So, some of it. I'm guilty for watching Power.
But everybody watches Power.
But everybody watches Power, but that but with some kids' mindset, they kind of distort and to think that that's reality,
That's
and
right.
then they go out and portray some of that, because there are some people be like, oh yeah, I'm like Lucius, or I'm like Kane, or something of the sort. So we have to explain to them that what's real and what's entertainment.
Right. Oh shit.
So that's what that's
good.
another thing that I wanted to bring up to you guys, of what's real and what's entertainment. So that's what I want to say.
All right, that was good. We have had some good suggestions as far as anti-gun violence efforts. We're going to write them down, some better than others, but thank you for everybody's suggestions, especially yours about the drill music, and yours from your seat. What's your name? Because you was talking. Okay, look, you're going to be up here next time you come. Because you smart, and you too. You was on it the whole time. I heard you. You was just quiet. What's your name? Trinity and Kayla. And what's your name? Makila. Okay. All right, ladies. I see y'all. Y'all gonna be right here. Let's clap them up for their participation. They're smart, and they're there. I heard them. They was on deck. And that's what it's about. So thank everybody for your commentary. Thank you for joining us tonight. We right on time. It's 8:02. I am on the call. If you are clergy or a community leader and want to get on the March on Wall Street call with Reverend Sharpton and our SVP Ebony Riley, we have the information. It's open to everybody, and we will be on the call for, I think, for half an hour. Christian, you want to pray us out? Any closing remarks?
No, ma'am. Okay, let's pray before we leave. God, thank you for this time and this opportunity that you have brought us here. Thank you for the good conversation that we had. God, we ask that you bless the food. Thank you for the hands that prepared it. Let it bless our mind, bodies, and soul, and those that will serve it. God, as we leave this place, never from your sight and your presence, get us to our various destinations and find all things well. In Jesus' name, amen.